is going on, my friends? Your bud, Hajimoto. So, before I get into today's topic, I got a real big favor to ask y'all. Please, down below, hit that subscribe button and share this with your friends. Share the channel with your friends. With that being said, we'll get into today's topic. So, at work, I've got a guy who likes to rim me a little bit because I ride a Harley. And whatever. He can rim me all he wants. He keeps telling me that Indian is going to be taking over Harley Davidson. Or, better yet, Indian's going to be putting Harley Davidson out of business. You know, their market share's improved, and you know, well, Harley's gone down, and then you hear all this other, you know, other stuff happening with Harley, and I just want to put my 2 cents into it here. So, me personally, I'm not saying never, but at this point in time, an Indian bike isn't going to replace my Harley anytime soon. As I said, a guy at work keeps talking about it, pushing it, whatever. But a couple of days, we'll just start out with a few days ago, last week, a local Indian dealership had the Indian demo truck. Now, I've been to a few of the Harley demo truck events at a dealership, and it's like, I'll go give it a whirl. Let's put this in perspective. When you go to a Harley Davidson truck demo event, you're going to have a giant semi-truck with almost every single bike in their lineup on that truck for people to test drive. I went to this Indian one. It was literally a 28-foot travel trailer pulled behind a heavy-duty pickup truck. And they had a total of 8 bikes. And from what I can gather, they had 3 models, just a few different packages of each one of their models. And one of the bikes that I wanted to check out was even in the lineup. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Nobody's at the trailer, the bikes are lined up. And so I head inside the dealership. And I go in the dealership and I'm like looking around, trying to find somebody that can tell me what's going on or any information for this demo ride. Now granted, I got over there 10:30ish, 11 o'clock in the morning, and the event started at 9. So I'm in there, and finally one guy looks at me, he's like, oh, you here for the ride event? I'm like, sure. And he's like, oh, we had to cancel it. I looked at him, I was like, cancel it? What's going on? Not enough people? Because there was nobody at the dealership. And his response was, no, we just went out and took a look at the course, and there was a couple puddles on the road, so they canceled the event. It's like they canceled the event because there was a couple puddles on the test route. Okay. As I said, I've been to a couple of Harley ones and been out on a test ride in the rain. So, you know, strike 2, not impressed. And then I'm like, okay, it's, you know, canceled. But I was told, hey, you know, the dealership should have some test bikes you can take out and ride. Okay, great. Let's see if we can find a salesperson. From what I could tell, there was one salesperson in the store, and they were actually helping somebody, no big whoop. But I've been in the store before, and I know they've probably got 5 or 6 people. And if they were having a scheduled event, these people should be out on the floor. Because people are going to be showing up like I did, going, hey, the weather's nice. We'll go test out some of these bikes. You know, just from a business standpoint, you want somebody out there to at least talk to these people. You know, make the most of it, even if you weren't doing the test rides. You know, hey, let me take out one of your actual test bikes. You know, see how I like it. Take it out for myself. But half an hour. I walked around that store for half an hour and not a single person even said hi. Needless to say, just based on the dealership and that whole aspect, you know, not really impressed. Especially how I've never been in a Harley Davidson dealership where they treated me like that. Every Harley Davidson dealership I've walked in, first person, you know, whoever's closest to the door is greeting you. You know, if everybody's busy, they're still acknowledging you're there. Everybody's friendly, everybody has a smile on their face. But then, as I said, in the nowhere's near future am I even thinking about buying an Indian. Another thing to consider is another reason why they're, I don't think they're going to even take over Harley anytime soon, is Harley Davidson has almost 7,000 dealerships. Just in the lower 48 United States. 7,000. I mean, for me, within about an hour's ride, there's probably 4 dealerships. And if you expand that out to a 2-hour ride, kind of make like a half-day trip or whatever to go to a dealership, I can probably hit about a dozen. Looking at the Indian website, looking at the dealer locator, and I guess you can kind of say my town is lucky because we have an Indian dealer right in the store, or right in town. But the next nearest Indian dealer is going to be almost 2.5 hours away. You take a look at their dealer profile, or you look at their, the dealer statistics. They've only got approximately 500 dealers in the United States. I'm sorry, but if you want to take out a network of 7,000 dealerships, you're not going to do it with 500. And from what I've witnessed with at least the one dealership, and from what I can see, most of your Indian dealerships are fairly new, don't carry a lot of inventory, and they're not moving bikes like these Harley dealerships are. And then, just, looking around the dealership, actually looking at the bikes, not that impressed. I mean, the paint on them, I'm a matte black guy, but when you paint your bikes and they look like cheap plastic, then yeah, you're not, once again, that's not drawing me into buying the bike, because I do buy a bike partially on the looks. For the most part, as long as the engine works, it gets me from point A to point B. They're all the same. I'm buying it for the looks. I am buying it for a piece of history, which unfortunately, even though Indian is labeled as the first motorcycle company in the U.S., they've changed hands so many times, and the companies that keep going bankrupt, Polaris is going to have a lot to prove if they even want to try to say, hey, Indian's the #1 company, because it's not the same company. And you can make that argument for Harley as well. They went through a period of bankruptcy, got bought out by a bowling alley company. But a group led by essentially the founding family turned around and bought them back because they were driving the brand into the ground. You don't even have that with Indian. They have been bought and sold so many times. I mean, And I was looking at their company history. I mean, since the 1990s, they've changed hands 3 times. So, you know, yeah, you're buying an Indian. We made it look like the old ones, but it's not the same bike. It's not the same company. The past 50 years, they have not had a track record of staying afloat. So, I mean, for the sake of the name, the trademark, hopefully Polaris has the, you know, hopefully Polaris has a plan, and they should have the money to put behind it, but, or are they going to end up finding something else? Just looking at the bikes, they look cheap. You know, the way they painted them, they look almost plastic. Bad plastic if you look at their Dark Horse lines, which are supposed to be a matte black. Not really impressed with their traditional gloss finished bikes either. And unfortunately, yeah, they've got modern conveniences, you know, powerful 111-inch engines, electric start, you get them with ABS brakes. Tried making them look like old, you know, an old school Indian, kind of mixed with a Victory. You know, I think Indian's doing about it the wrong way. They need. I think they should be focusing more on, hey, you know, it's a modern bike. You know, we're bringing Indian into the present day and into the future, not bringing back a bike that your great-grandparents watched their parents ride. So that's essentially what's happening. I mean, for somebody to say that they're going to be buying an Indian motorcycle today because of the nostalgia of the bikes, you know, these baby boomers, once again, didn't ride, weren't around the original Indians unless they had an older parent or even a grandparent that had one. You know, poor kind of reason to buy the bike. You know, we bought it because the name was old. And they try to make the bikes look old. You know, Harley Davidson's trying to get the new, you know, the younger generation into motorcycling. That's where they're trying to focus. Indian is clearly focusing on the baby boomers, the older generation. And you can also kind of tell. I mean, they're focusing on their bobbers. And a few of their models that are baggers, they have got, you know, light tan seats, light tan saddlebags, and enough fringe to choke an elephant, which I don't find aesthetically pleasing. I mean, there's a couple Harley models. People are like, why don't you buy one of those? And I've seen some at a decent price when they were used. When I was looking to buy a bike, and I said, nope, too much fringe. I tell you, my generation and younger are not buying the fringe. So why are these people putting it on 3 and 4 models of their bikes? I don't know. You know, they should be taking these classic, you know, quote-unquote classic models that they have and make them new. See, at least Harley did that. Their big bike with the fringe was their Softail Heritage. Heritage? Yeah, the Heritage. And for the Stu line, yeah, there's a little bit of a fringe, but all the cheesy chrome buttons and doodads, they replaced them with a black that kind of subtle against the black leather. And it doesn't look half bad. I would actually be interested in that bike. But just quite a few reasons why. You know, the Indian name. Harley's got some models that make, have that classic throwback look from the 50s, 60s, even earlier. I mean, you look at some of the Sportsters, the Softail Slim, heck, even quite a, Softail Deluxe, Softail Heritage. You look at a Harley and it can take it, you look back and bikes from the past and you can see the resemblance. But they've updated them. But Harley has had that lineage where they can do that. As I said, the Indians, they look like they took the Victories, popped a 3/4 fender on there with a lighted Indian head, and said, here, old bikes. These bikes look like they did 50 years ago. You know what, honestly, they may not be lying. I couldn't find any pictures of those old bikes. A lot of people just scrapped them because they were junk. I mean, if they want to do a heritage classic throwback, try doing something based on the 1920s. 1930s Indian. Then try to, do something stripped down, bob down, whatever you want to call it. And then turn around and come to my generation and say, hey, here's a throwback bike for you. You know what? My generation younger would probably buy it. Or at least seriously consider buying it. Not look at them and laugh and walk away. Polaris has a long way to go with this Indian if they want to try to do what they want to try to do, and at least in my opinion, and I'll tell you right now, they're not going to get my business anytime soon. Just if I'm going to put up that kind of money for a bike, I'm going to buy a Harley. That's going to be that. So, if you even half enjoyed my ramble, hit the like button. If you've got friends out there, family, debating the whole Harley Indian thing, share this with them. If you've got some comments, don't think what I'm saying is right, or you don't disagree, as long as you can still maintain some respectfulness here, and go ahead, leave a comment. I welcome the debate. So but anyway, so please, once again, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and share it out there with your families and friends. And this is Segimoto, and we'll talk to you later.